Well, welcome guys to our last week of EXS-211. So thanks for making it this long. Let's see, everybody found their way in here in the last couple minutes, so that's good. We're up to, 11 people. So as promised, today is going to be an opportunity for us to review for the final. We do have a final exam for this class. It is, I think, relatively straightforward. There are a couple of tricky questions. I think I mentioned that on Thursday. I wasn't able to change them. I don't have that ability, but I am going to, the few that I have a problem with, we're going to talk about today. And so you'll be getting some answers for them. A couple people have taken it already, which surprised me a little bit, but those who have taken it already have done very well. So I do think that we've covered a lot more information in this course, in this class, in live discussion than you have to know for the test. And I try to do that for most classes because I feel like it allows it, I make the joke about throwing a bunch of shit against the wall, but if you do enough, like some of it's going to stick, right? And I think that just seeing you guys progress over the last 4 weeks and seeing all of the homework submissions come through and sort of some of the discussions that we've had, some of the confusion in weeks 1 and early in week 2, and then a lot of like the light bulbs kind of going off as we go through, I think, at least in my mind, from what I've seen, has been very helpful. You guys can think otherwise, and you can talk about it in the end of class survey if you want to. But at least from my perspective, it seems like those of us who've stuck with it over the last 5 weeks have taken a lot from the class. And so I do want to go over some logistical stuff before we get started with the review. Obviously, this is week 5. You guys have had enough week 5s to know that everything is due on Thursday, meaning like after Thursday night at midnight, I don't have any opportunity to adjust or grade things late or allow you to get an extension on the final. That stuff is beyond my control. In extreme cases and stuff where like if you let me know ahead of time, as in like today, I can talk with my program director and he can override that kind of thing, give you till Friday if you absolutely need to take the final then or something like that. But I don't see that being the case, especially because we're going to use Thursday's class as an opportunity to take the final in the session. I do that with a lot of my classes for 2 reasons. Well, maybe just one big one. If you were going to a live, like brick and mortar school, you would have to go somewhere to take your test. And because of that, you'd be able to ask questions if something was worded kind of funny or you felt like you knew the answer, but you were just kind of like misled a little bit and you needed some clarification, you'd have somebody who could help you with that. Online doesn't really present that opportunity. And I don't think it's necessarily fair, especially the way that some of the questions on our tests have been worded in the past, to kind of leave you out there by yourself. And so I use week 5 when we're able to as a opportunity to review and then the second class to take the test. That being said, if you take the test prior to Thursday's class, you don't need to come. If you don't want to, there's not really going to be a whole lot for you to do there. And you will not be penalized for not coming. And so I say that if you take the test before Thursday night and you don't want to come to class the very last day, I don't know, shoot me an email or something, let me know, and I'll make sure that you get full credit for the week for participation points. I'm not gonna force somebody to come and sit through a blank class if they've already done the work. There is a drill. It's only 10 questions, but it's still worth points. So let's make sure we get that in this week. And it'd be helpful if you guys took that before you did the final. The final's worth 125 points, which is 12.5% of your grade. So it's a big deal. It can be more than a full letter grade. Like if you're sitting at an A- and you don't do it, then that's a C. Or conversely, if you're kind of struggling a little bit and you have like a C+, it could potentially raise you up to an A. If you do well on it. So, that's what's kind of the nice thing, and it's kind of the double-edged sword of 5-week classes is that everything being worth, so many points, it one little thing can either make or break you. We hope it makes you, right? Let's see. Week 4 homework. So let's see. Week 3 is all completed. I graded 3.1 earlier last week, and then I just finished the videos within UCU. Now, like I said, I've gotten videos through UCU, through my email, through Learn Brian, both in the homework assignment and in the instructor forums. I've gotten text messages with YouTube links. I've gotten a bunch of different methods is what I'm saying. And so if you are one of those and you notice that you had a 0 for the week 3 video, it's only because I missed it and I wanted to make you aware of that so you can send it back to me or give me some type of indication. I think I've already, the two of you guys have already talked to me about that. So I'll have that fixed at the end of class. Week 4, the power homework assignment I will have done graded tomorrow, I promise. I told the earlier class this too. And the videos I will have done by Thursday. They just take a little bit longer, obviously, because I got to watch them all. You do still have, since it is week 5, it's Tuesday. If you haven't done that week 4 homework, you do still have the opportunity to get that in through tonight. As we've said, I've stopped calling people out because at this point in week 5, if you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it. So I think that's all of the stuff I had to say. Before we do our review game, are there any questions that have come up either regarding the homework, regarding the content, regarding anything? Jonathan, our client. Did anybody take a look through this week 4 notes and resources? All the stuff that we looked over the weekend at all? Just somebody lie to me and say yes so I feel better. There we go. A little bit. Keep in mind, guys, that even after this class is over, you do have the opportunity, if you go to your homepage, to look through past classes. It's the tab up here on the top right. And you can go back through any of the previous classes that you've had. And so those announcements should still be there for you to check back on, I believe. Yeah. So that's always an option for you as well. Where are we at here? All right. Yeah, still a lot of points out there. So week 4, I believe the power assignment was worth 150, and the video is worth another 100. Is that right? Or maybe they're both worth 100. Check that real quick. Yeah, both worth 100. So that's 325 points, 350 points, including the drill and participation points. So, I mean, that's roughly week 4 and week 5 counts for a third of your grade. So there's a lot of points out there that still haven't been accounted for. And so again, if you're struggling a little bit or you feel like you don't have the grade that you want, but you've done your homework for weeks 4 and 5, well, your homework for week 4 and your test for week 5, you can still pull off a good grade in this class. All right. Anything else before we get started on our game? I went silent today. That's fine. So Kyle was nice enough to develop a Jeopardy-style game for us. I went back and modified some of the stuff that because obviously we talk about some slightly different things in our classes, and so I had to make a few adjustments, and I wanted to make sure that a few things got covered that related to the test, so we all had the opportunity to see that. We've got 15 people here now, so we could make 2 teams of 7 if we wanted to. The only thing is I don't know how we would. Since we don't have breakout rooms and I don't have a counter for when people put their hands up, it's hard for me to tell who's first, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're being left out. So the way we did it this morning, obviously we had a smaller group this morning. Just put you on the winning team. Nice. We had a smaller group this morning, but we decided to just kind of forget about the team aspect of it and go through the questions together. We could do it. Let's see. Let's do this. How many guys do we have in this class? So Jeff, Mike, Cam, Keith, Daniel, Roberto, Alan. So it's pretty right down the middle. We could do boys versus girls and just see who comes out on top. All right. So let's do that. We'll get this all together here. Change options. Select team order. Go random person. We'll have 45 seconds. 2 teams. Guys, what do you want your team name to be? Oh, man. So, gentlemen, what do we want our team name to be? Or you, I'm not part of it. Come on, first one to speak up gets to name the team. Ladies, think about your team name. Nothing? All right, well, fine. We're just going to go boys versus the Powder Puff Girls. No, it's too late. Oh, you're not even a boy. It's not fair. Team Powder Puff Girls is going to go first. So you guys get to choose your category. We've got 5 of them. Again, this was Kyle, not me. OPT stuff, the stuff I didn't read. Lightweight, I pick things up and put them down. And get serious. Just as a reminder, or just as a side note, these categories don't mean anything. The questions are completely randomized. But so, ladies, where do we want to start?
Stuff I didn't read for 400.
All right. Stuff I didn't read for 400. Sam, we'll get to that next one soon. So, starting off with a tough one. What does myofibrillar proliferation mean? So that's probably some stuff you didn't read, right? But luckily, we have the internet. All right. Let's maybe look up what a myofibril is. Look up what the word proliferation means. And I think we can put that together pretty quickly. So first one to raise their hand in the participants box. Do you guys all have the hand raise feature? No, Ty. This was the stuff that you didn't read, as it was written in the category. It's from the logbook. And don't worry about the time's up thing. So, and this question's open to anybody. So maybe look up myofibril, figure out what that is. What does the word proliferation mean? And then how does that relate to strength and or power? Man, nobody read the loud book. Or they just don't feel like stepping up today. Stop waiting for somebody else to do it. Get on your smartphone. Come on, nobody wants 400 points? Dollars? They're not real
It has to do with muscle fiber growth.
Okay. So what does the word proliferation mean?
Proliferate. Rapid increase in numbers.
There you go. So put those 2 ideas together.
So you mean put those two together? It just means your muscle growing, or your strength and muscle growing in numbers.
So a rapid increase in
Yes, a rapid increase. Yes.
yes, nice job. Rapid increase in myofibrils. So the basically building blocks of muscle cells. More myofibrils means obviously more. I don't know how I give points to the guys there. Huh. I don't think that'll allow me. Oh, man. All right. So I think what we'll have to do then is basically give. Oh, that sucks. So if the girls start, then they have to answer. And then if they don't get the answer right, then the boys get a turn. My bad. Let's try this again. 2 teams. We'll let you guys do beast mode. And the Powder Puff Girls. Powder Puff Girls go first. They went stuff I didn't read. Nobody got that one right. Sorry. Oh, 800 points. If I wasn't in the car with coworkers using my headphones, I found it. Oh, sorry, Sam. All right, we won't penalize you twice. But boys, it's your turn. So Tracy, go ahead and pick a category.
OPT stuff for 100.
All right. What is the third level of training in the OPT model? So this is one of the questions that I had a big problem with. It is directly out of the test.
The third level of the OPT model is
hypertrophy.
What was that?
Somebody just said it? Yeah, hypertrophy. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I would have chosen. Because when I think of level, I think of obviously we have, our building blocks, the OPT model, right? And so I go 1, 2, 3, and this is hypertrophy. And you'd be absolutely right. However, the way that the question, I guess, reads on the test, they're looking at levels in terms of
strength. So would it be considered strength?
Exactly. Well, the third level then technically is power. So power, strength, and stabilization. So because of that, and that's what I said, be very clear, when you see this question on the exam, it is referring to the power block as being the third level of training in the OPT model. So it's very misleading. I don't like the question at all, but I wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to see that. And surprisingly, the 2 people, like I said, that have taken the test already, they got that right. So if either you made a really, really good guess or you read the question differently than I did, but congratulations, I don't have to make any adjustments so far. But now that I've said that, if you still get it wrong, it's your bad. So third level of the OPT model, we're looking at the block, not the phase. Or you took the drill first, like Sam. Okay. Good call. This is right out of the drill too, isn't it? All right. Sam, go ahead and choose the question for us. I know you can't really speak, but maybe in the chat box. Or I think she gets serious for 200. All right. What does an increase in firing rate produce? Oh, man, you guys keep picking the hard ones, ladies. So first of all, what are we talking about here? An increase in firing rate. This is another thing out of the loud book or out of the reading. How so, Jaime? I think you're on the right track there. So what aspect, we'll say this, what aspect of the kinetic chain are we referring to when you say firing rate?
Oh my goodness. I knew it till you just asked that.
So we
Is
need
it
to,
concentric and eccentric?
well,
Or no?
what I'm asking then is, what are we referring to, the skeletal system, to the muscular system, or the nervous system?
Oh,
Go with your gut.
say those choices again, please.
Okay. Can you not see them?
Let's see. No, let me change my thing. I'm sorry. Oh, yep. Now I can see them. I would say in the muscular system, it's basically firing rate. Like, I would think how fast and accurately you're able to do a repetition.
Okay, but what tells my muscles to fire?
I'm sorry?
What tells my muscles to fire?
Isn't it your nervous system that tells your muscles to fire?
Yeah.
Okay. Haha.
So I'm basically just improving the signal from my nervous to my muscular system,
Gotcha.
right? So, and you said the original question or your original answer was increased force?
Just, well, yeah, basically how fast it is to get up there.
Yeah, so it's an increase in how fast we can stimulate a muscle to contract.
Yes, sir.
It's sort of a poorly worded question, but I think you had the right idea there.
Got it.
That's so old so fast. I hate I don't know how to get rid of that. It's okay. All right, boys, your turn. Gentlemen, I should say. Going once.
Lightweight 300.
All right. Which of the phases has been shown to help increase the benefits of power training used in phase 5? There, gentlemen, we are powder puffs. So what phase do we use concurrently with power in phase 5? Anyone?
Is it maximum power?
Maximum what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Strength. Maximal strength training, phase 4, sorry. Maximum power, well, absolute power would be out of the PES textbook that you guys don't have access to. I know I talked about that. I think it was week 3, but according to this class, for our scope, we're supposed to pretend like we don't know about that. All right. And by the way, ladies, you still have 200 points. We got to add 800 to this because I messed up. Sorry. But it is your turn, girls. Women. I don't know what do you say to that? Gentle women. Lightweight for 400. Which of the following back exercises would be considered a power exercise? A wood chop throw, a ball cobra, supported dumbbell row, straight arm pull down. Jaime says wood chop throw. And she would be correct. So Jaime, what gave it away? What word?
It's power. It's something you're throwing. It's your body leaving the ground, or it's something you're pushing something away, basically.
Yeah. Every time we see throw or plyo or jumping, right? Those are all words that are like dead giveaways that this is a power exercise. Which of these other ones could be, depending on the tempo, maybe considered a power exercise? We just had this discussion in the morning, so I want to. So depending on how it's performed, might be, you could argue that it could also be considered a power exercise.
I would say the supported dumbbell row.
Yeah, Jaime, I think the ball cobra, I might run a high risk of injury if I try to do that explosively. But the dumbbell row, sort of like a lawnmower pull, or that's what somebody mentioned earlier, is if I do this at think about it like a 2:02 tempo, right? That's going to be controlled both on the way up and down, nice and slow, and sort of moderate. But if we were to do that explosive, right, really hard, strong pull, drive that elbow to the ceiling, go back to the floor, and do that again, you could argue that there could be a power component to that too. Remember, the biggest focus there is the speed at which the movement happens. And so the pull down, I don't know, you'd have a hard time like doing this quickly. That'd be a little ridiculous. But anyways, when you see it in the test, anything that throw, plyo, jumping, Dan doesn't get any points. All right. Keith, give us a category.
Let's go with, I pick things up and put them down for 400.
Right. To develop optimal levels of power, clients should train with what? There's two parts to this answer. And it has something to do with, okay. Well, you're not supposed to answer this piece. Girls
Should be training with 85%, and you supersetting with like 40%, 30 to 40%.
Okay, absolutely. So it's a combination of heavy and light loads. And Daniel gave us the intensity ranges, 85 to 100, couple 30 to 45. That should say 45. Shit, 45%. I'm trying to go fast. It's hard. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you're just so eager. All right, so both heavy loads and light loads at high speeds. All right. Close score, 800 to 600. How do I I gotta somehow give the girls points. I don't know. Or no, it was not 800 that you're missing. It's 400 because I said that you guys got this one wrong. So somehow we gotta give you guys 400 points. Let's do this. We'll give this question away. Which would come first in a program, lying hamstring curl or weighted walking lunge? Anybody can answer this one. I just saw that in the chat box. I think you're first starting to understand all of it. It's okay. It all comes together at the end.
A laying hamstring curl?
So why do you say that?
Because you work usually when you do your, most groups, you do your legs last.
All right. Well, both of these would be considered leg exercises, right?
Yes, I see it now.
So Jeff, why do you say the lunge would be first?
Well, you can actually do a weighted walking lunge as a warm-up. So you can actually do that first if you wanted to with light weights.
You could. I typically leave the resistance exercises out of the quote-unquote warm-up. But if I were to, I guess, warm up a heavier lunge with a light lunge, that makes sense. We got a couple things in there in the chat box now. That a lunge is a multiple joint exercise. It's a compound movement. We said that we do those before. It's also a higher skill exercise. We do that before something where it requires a low level of skill. And that's it. in isolation compared to supplementary. Yeah. All right. Weighted walking lunge would be correct. And we gave our girls their points back. So, gentlemen, somebody choose the next category.
I pick things up, put them down for 300.
Man, no one's choosing the 500-point questions yet? Why do we rest 3 to 5 minutes between strength exercise sets?
Because of the intensity.
Okay, but why? What do we need to recover?
Rebuild our ATP.
Good answer. So increased intensity. Right, we're thinking about energy systems here, having to recharge our battery. I think that's the example that I used before. And these high intensity exercises are very demanding on that ATP PC system. Right, and so it requires 3 to 5 minutes in order to recover. So to resynthesize and recreate phosphocreatine, also to clear any type of lactic acid or other waste product that's developed through that muscle contraction. Metabolite clearance. This is such a Kyle thing to say. He's such a nerd.
Emphasize.
Don't tell him I said that. Whatever. I'll tell him. Ladies, you may want to pick some high point questions here.
Lightweight for 200.
200. What type of training set involves performing 2 exercises in rapid succession with minimal rest? This should be an easy one.
Superset.
Yeah. It's a superset. Unfortunately, that's not giving you a lot of points. Gentlemen. Beast modes.
I pick things up, put things down for 500.
Right.
Ooh, ooh.
What is the typical length that a client will stay in the power phase of training? How long is the duration of the power training phase?
I would say 4 weeks.
And you would be correct. Basically, every phase of the OPT model is long. The only exception to that really is that the phase 1 says 4 to 6 weeks, but realistically, it was an easy one, Jackie. So you should pick a 500-point question next time. Let's see, it's your turn, or it's your team's turn.
OPT 500.
All right. What is the difference between strength and power? Ooh. So let's throw some ideas out there. If you've realized, I haven't let
Can I say
anybody.
it or do I have to just type it?
You can say it.
Okay, power is, oh my gosh, strength is when you're improving your load and your, let's see, basically your reps and your load. Power is when you're, and someone else can chime in anytime. I knew what I was going to say until it came out of my mouth. And Dora in the background is not helping, so, oh no! Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Don't worry about that. That just happens automatically.
Oh, okay. Strength is when you're trying to improve your volume. Am I right?
Potentially. Oh, stop, Keith. Who wants to help her out? So what are some components of strength and/or power? What are some things that we talk about in regards to them? What do I say the most important aspect of power is?
The speed of movement.
Yeah. So I was hoping a lady would answer that, but it's okay. So power refers to speed. Strength. If you had to put it into one or two words or just a few kind of ideas, what would we say? I actually don't remember exactly what the answer, as it's written on here, said. Ladies, not a single one. Who is strong? What would we consider strong? Strength is load placed on the tissue. So yeah, an increase in the ability to move weight, right? So it's increase in load. So power would be an increase in speed. Let's see what our answer comes up with. Strength is the ability to produce force. Power is the ability to maximize the speed of that force production. And so, yeah, produce force, this would be very load dependent, very speed dependent. We'll give it to you. Keep it real close here. All right, guys, take it over.
Get serious for 500.
Now everyone's going for the 500-point questions. This one's tough. This is out of the reading also. What does the all or nothing concept refer to? Uh-oh.
I would say contraction.
Okay, you gotta be more specific than that.
Either your muscle's gonna contract or they don't.
Okay, let's see. What aspect or what specific part of a muscle?
Neurons.
So a neuron is basically like a power line that goes through a muscle. It's a signal. What do we call that? If I've got a little neuron, or a lot of them, and they're going to my muscle.
Are you talking about the firing aspect, like the muscle fiber firing?
Kinda. Keep going. So we had this conversation about chickens and ducks. There's a specific term that I'm looking for. So this little bit of muscle and this neuron make up what? I'll let the women steal this if they say no.
Microfibers.
Keep going. Somebody help him. Ladies?
The all or nothing law is a principle that the strength by which a nerve or muscle fiber responds to a stimulus is independent of the strength of the stimulus.
Casey saving the day.
It's a motor unit, right?
Oh, okay. Motor unit.
My nerve plus the muscle fiber is a motor unit. And like you said, either that motor unit is going to contract fully or it's going to not contract at all. And so the only difference in, actually I think I wrote this in here, a single motor unit will contract completely or not at all. Greater force production, so greater strength, comes from a larger number of motor units firing simultaneously.
So would that be threshold potential?
Exactly. So this is the exact reason why we train power exercise the way we do, is because we're trying to maximize the number of motor units that we recruit, and some of them are very low threshold, some of them are very high threshold fibers, and so we need to train both heavy and light and fast in order to basically catch them all. Like Pokemon. Throw a big old net. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can give you guys that one.
Oh, come on, man. Pretty much said it.
I just throw points out there. You get points. Like Oprah. I just throw points out. You get points, and you get points. Ladies. Probably going to want to choose a 500-point question.
Lightweight. Oh.
Sam beat you to it. Stuff I didn't read for 500. What is repetition tempo? That's a terribly worded question. So let's talk about tempo. First of all, what is tempo? I guess that's the question.
Man, 3 points is what it is.
E.
It's free. Hey, you didn't choose it. Go ahead, ladies.
It's speed.
Okay. Speed at which what?
Oh, at the rate of which you do your reps.
Okay. Speed a repetition is completed. I like that. There are 3 components to it. Maybe 4. Who can tell me? So if I write A/B/C, what do those things stand for?
Are you looking for a lady to answer that?
Anybody can answer this one.
Okay. Concentric contractions, eccentric contractions, and isometric contraction.
All right, which one's which?
A concentric contraction is a muscle activity or a muscle activity.
I know what they mean. I'm saying which goes where.
Oh, which goes where? Like in the order?
Yeah.
Okay. You got me on that one.
All
A
right.
is concentric.
A is what?
Concentric?
Oh.
No, I said eccentric. You just didn't hear me right because of the Wi-Fi these days is crazy.
Oh, it's terrible. Oh, man. All right. B is isometric, which leaves C as concentric. And this is regardless of the activity. So every tempo is going to be written the same way, starting with the eccentric portion of the movement. Now, somebody asked me why this morning, and I mean, it's really just for standardization purposes. If you imagine, a back squat, a bench press, those are probably the 2 of the biggest ones, to be honest with you. Both back squat and bench press start with the eccentric portion, right? Or push up would be another good example. A lunge, technically, starts with the eccentric portion of the movement. An RDL starts with the eccentric portion. But most other exercises don't, right? So a deadlift, a pull-up, a lat pull-down, a row, whatever. So because different exercises start at different parts of the contraction or different parts of the movement, we just have to find some way to standardize. And so eccentric will always be first. And I think I mentioned this in this class too. Depending on the text that you read, there may be a 4th in here. And so that 4th is just also an isometric contraction on the other side. Typically, that's the start position again. So if you imagine in a squat, I'm going to do like a stabilization endurance style squat, right? 4 count lower, 2 count pause at the bottom, 1 count to stand up, and then 1 or 2 to breathe again, right before initiating my next rep. This is almost always, and just from what I've seen, almost always a 1, and therefore you can kind of ignore it mostly. If you imagine I'm going to take a breath before my next rep, and then go back to rep number 2. So, but just in case you ever do see it, just know that that's why there are 4 counts there. All right. speed at which a repetition is performed. An easy 500 points. Let me guess, guys, you're going to take the last 500-point question? Of course. The power training phase focuses on what? That's a really vague question. Come on, Kyle, what are you doing here? If you had answered that in one word, I think
Power.
that's an easy. Well, come on, you can't use the word in a sentence.
Explosiveness.
All right. Give me some more.
Speed.
All right.
No. Actually, other people have been answering too.
Explosiveness, speed,
One right here.
high force, and velocity to increase power. Oh, let's see, he uses the word power in here too. High force and velocity. Speed and explosiveness, essentially. All right, ladies. Time to get serious, maybe. It's the last 400-point question out there. All right. A power movement should be what? This sounds kind of redundant, huh? I think it's just the order that we pick the questions in. Can't use powerful. Fast, explosive, blah, blah, blah. Explosive, high velocity. Nice job. Boys. Boys to men. Oh, man. Does everyone remember that? Was that 1992? Water runs dry. These are the days. All right. Let's make it hard on them. Stuff I didn't read for 300. That's not hard. A blank is one complete movement of a single exercise. Do not get this wrong.
A rep is one complete movement. Repetition.
Hooray. All right, ladies. OPT stuff or get serious? I think we've all figured out we're just going to basically go down the line. OPT. Name a few core exercises designed to improve power output. So, what is a core power exercise? Core power. You may have to get creative with this. Get out of here, Keith. So Sam says a soccer throw. Could be. Soccer throw. Side medicine ball oblique throw. Fancy. Med ball oblique throw. Medicine. Okay, Ty. I think there's probably some in there too. Tuck jump. Good. All good examples. Medicine ball sit up throw. So similar. Boys, let's get serious. What is a repetition range for maximal strength? And why? Ooh. First of all, the easy part. What's rep range for maximal strength? I hope that's the easy part.
3 to 5.
Man, morning class got this wrong too.
Oh, that's.
Somebody help him out.
Yeah.
Cameron's over there sleeping.
1 to.
Ugh. Ugh. Ah! All right, so add Jeff and Daniel's responses together. 1 to 2, 3 to 5, right? Between 1 and 5 reps.
Oh,
It's right out of the table. Right?
maximum.
At what intensity range?
Okay.
Yeah, so what is the rep range for max strength? This is phase 4 of the OPT model.
Yeah.
5 reps. At what intensities? We got that earlier. 85 to 100%. Right. And you can imagine, I think we did this in week 1, where I did number of reps possible, right, versus percentage of 1 rep max. You guys remember that conversation?
Yeah.
50% to 100, and we went from 1 rep to 20. We kind of had a line that looked like that. Yeah. And so in that 85 to 100% range,
There you go.
right, we're looking at 1 to 5 reps. So approximately 5 reps at 85%, or 1 rep at 100%, or something in between. Right, maybe 3 reps at 92%, or 4 reps at 88%, or something like that. Right? And everybody's going to be a little bit different. Right? Some people are going to have greater muscular endurance because they've trained longer, or they've got more grit, or they're more well rested, or any number of things. Right? But for the most part, we should be able to complete 1 to 5 reps in the 85 to 100% range. So boys, I think I might have to take that away from you as an attempt to be fair for the girls and make Final Jeopardy that much more fun. So support heavy loads, and because intensity and volume are inversely related. Hey, girls had a chance to not quite tie it up, but get really close. 200 points. Hey, Keith, you said 8 to 10, man. So, I mean.
Touche.
Yeah. OPT, stuff I didn't read. I'll pick things up and put them down. All right. Sam, out of a car. What block of training is phase 4 in? So remember, that's in looking at this whole thing here, right? I've got this block. I've got this block. I've got this block. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is this? What block is it in? I think the ladies are getting tired. Yeah. It's in B, the strength block of the OPT model. All right. Gentlemen. Took me forever. Oof. Wait, you have to carpool. Got it. I was like, you had to pull your car to work. That sounds shitty. I get it.
I spelled that so wrong. I wasn't thinking.
You're fine. We'll go OPT stuff, 200. What is the most important aspect of the maximal strength training phase? Man, this should be a 500-point question. What is the most important thing to consider, the most important goal, focus? How else do we say that? Without saying to develop maximal strength, How else can we phrase that?
Maximum load.
What about it?
To be moved. I don't know.
Okay, close. Here, I'll even put, there's a word I think that's missing that is going to be very obvious when somebody says it. But you said all the rest of it. No, Jaime, we're not focusing on power in this case. Just one word. It's going to be so obvious as soon as it gets mentioned. Starts with an I.
Increase.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, jeez.
Right? I mean, increase the maximum load. Increase the loads placed on the tissues of the body and the body's ability to move them. A fancy way of saying to get strong is Wi-Fi. Cut out there for a second. All right, ladies, stuff I didn't read. Which of the following is an acute variable? Oh, man. Location, goal, duration, or phase? Which of these is a acute variable of training?
Come on, man. How did they get all the easy ones?
Hey, we've had our fair share of easy ones, too. Yeah, the answer is duration. All right. Stuff I didn't read. We're going to make it hard on the boys. What are acute variables? Do.
Come on, guys. Phases.
First of all, who can name some, maybe? And then what's their purpose? So Jaime's already given you two of the answers, or two of the components of them. Tempo, rest. What else do we have out there? Reps. Volume.
Frequency.
Yeah. Sets.
Yeah.
What else is missing in here? Intensity. Exercise selection. Type. So what's their purpose? What's the purpose of all this stuff? What does the word variable mean?
Like a range, 3 to 5, or 6 to 10, or whatever.
Yeah, it's something that's not.
It's not set.
Not static. There you go. Something that's not static. Something that I can change.
Good.
So I can manipulate tempo or rest or reps or something else like that in order to do what? Remember, all the way back to the very first week of school. We learned about a principle. It's an acronym.
Said principle.
Yeah, specific adaptation to impose demand. Right? So by changing this stuff, I can elicit a different response to training. Right? So if I slow down my tempo, I can focus more on stabilization. If I increase my repetitions, I can focus more on endurance. If I decrease my intensity, right, then I'm going to also decrease volume, and I can promote recovery, give myself a chance to, regenerate myself, replenish. The components that can be manipulated to produce a desired training outcome. Tempo, reps, sets, etc. Oh, look at that. High score. Oh, man.
Your finger slipped.
What is the benefit of improved motor unit synchronization? That's another way to answer one of the questions that we've come up with already. Ladies? What is the benefit of improved motor unit synchronization? So not necessarily asking more motor units being produced, because that would be an increase in power or strength, but synchronization. So what do we think of when you think of this word as it relates to movement?
Sync.
Swimming? Maybe. At the same time, okay. Doesn't necessarily have to be at the same time though, Jaime. So synchronized, oh, I see, synchronized swimming, got it. Wow, it's been a long day. Can mean that it's just operating at the right time, right? That's not out of place. So that it's following a pattern, A, B, C, D, whatever, and not like A, C, D, C. Highway to hell. So what is the benefit of improved motor unit synchronization? There's a word that I'm looking for, just the C. I feel like I'm on Sesame Street now. Starts with C. Let's see. When I think of synchronization, I think of skill. I know that doesn't start with C, but any type of skill activity, right? Something that needs to be performed in a specific way or a specific timing or pattern. Come on, ladies, anybody? What's that C word? Yeah, coordination. Coordination. We often refer to it in exercise as muscle memory, right? But really that's a improved synchronization of motor units, of my body knowing that if I want to produce this ever again, right, I can do that, right? Because I've done it before. My body knows, okay, I need this muscle to fire at the right time. You know, all that goofy interpretive dance. Yeah. Go ahead, Sonny.
No question. So is a key word sync? Because like you have to develop it, you have to sync it in to develop that coordination. Possibly a way of thinking of it.
Absolutely, right? It's something that doesn't come. I mean, some people we say it comes naturally, but you know, they understand their body better than others. They've probably had other experiences that were similar that allowed them to pick up that pattern more quickly. But absolutely, you know, they say that. Actually, one of my favorite quotes from his name is Kelly Starrett. Actually, Kyle is a big fan of him also. He's a mobility specialist. He says, practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent. And I like that because it's true. Like the more times I do something, the more ingrained it is to my system. And, you know, if you do something wrong or incorrectly, you know, 8,000 times, well, on the 8,001st time, guess what? It's going to be wrong again. Right? It doesn't mean that you got better at it. It just means that you are more efficient at that bad movement. It's why we see, like, you know, all those other goofy adages too. I can't teach an old dog new tricks or things like that. Is because if somebody's been doing something one way for a long time, it's hard to break that habit.
Practice makes permanent.
Yes, I love that quote. And Kyle plays guitar, and so he was talking about Eddie Van Halen. I remember this from one of his classes, and so being able to sequence, right? That's an example of a fine motor unit pattern, right? But we're looking at more from an exercise perspective. We'd call that gross pattern, even though gross just meaning like on a larger scale, not that it's dirty or something. Anyway, I pick things up and put them down, or get serious, gentlemen. Beast modes. Pick. Got it. The power period of OPT. Wait, the power period of training in the OPT model consists of how many phases according to the CPT text? That should be an easy one. And this should say the word block. I don't like period.
It's for the guys or girls?
This one's for guys. So the power block consists of how many phases? According to your textbook. Not what James says in class.
It's normally got, what was it, 5, but the actual amount is was like 7.
So just the power block, so not the whole OPT model.
Oh, so it's just 5 then, right? Am I thinking of it wrong? Probably
Somebody's
thinking
want
of
to
it
help him
wrong.
out.
Maybe it's 3.
Maybe it's just 1. All right, it's just power. Power is just power.
I'm thinking of the whole step. That's the problem, I think.
Yeah, I might have done a very bad thing in introducing that to you guys.
Well, I know power isn't the whole every single step, but I'm thinking of that as in terms of like all of it.
Let me see if I can
It's
find
not,
it.
it's not all power though, so.
So let's see this.
Power block.
So in your text, right, scattered throughout there, you've probably seen this picture a bunch of times, right? Stabilization, strength, and power. So according to the CPT textbook, right, the power block only has one phase, phase 5, which is what the question asks. I introduced to you guys this, which was the 7-step version.
That's the one I was thinking about.
Yeah, that's my fault. I can't really take points away from that. But just know your text and most things that you'll look at are going to be 5 phases. The 5-phase model.
1, 2, 1.
Yeah, 1, 3, 1.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I am not reading correctly.
It's okay. It's that Wi-Fi. All right. So know that this exists and then forget about it. You just woke up. Nice. All right, so it is 1 phase. Very last one. Ladies, name a total body power exercise. Man, they really have done some easy ones, huh?
Burpees.
Oh, man. Burpees, sandbag overhead throw, kettlebell clean and jerk, snatch, etc. Yeah, you can name a bunch of different things. But excellent job. Wait a second. That's supposed to be a 100-point question. How did you guys end up 200 points ahead?
Because girls rock, you know?
That was totally wrong.
I think the whole thing was rigged, if you ask me.
I think Kyle rigged this thing.
I think I might not be the only one that thinks that way. I think I'm the only one that's actually verbalizing it.
I mean, guys, one of the things I like to somehow sprinkle some life lessons into these classes, and one of the things you have to learn is sometimes you just have to let them win.
So you forfeit the battle so you can win the war.
Exactly. I'm just kidding, ladies. I don't know how that happened, honestly. But there is a final question, final challenge. Team, do we want to place our wager, all our points? Beast mode.
Yep, all or nothing.
All or nothing. It's that all or nothing principle. Ladies, you can do the same. You know what you should do is you should bet all your points except for 99 of them so that you can beat the guys if you both get the answer right.
Or just 200 so I can feel better.
Oh, that's not very nice. You gotta be competitive here.
All right.
We're going 31. All right, how does that work? I guess you'd have to wager. I don't know. We're just going for the whole thing. I can't do that math right now. All except for 100. So 3,200.
What? What?
Okay. Whew. Wait, how do we even? That's fine. This would be, everybody's going to win. What the hell? Name a primary, supplementary, and accessory exercise for the maximal strength phase, along with sets, reps, tempo, and rest. Oh, man. That's complicated. So, let's breathe. How about this? Gentlemen, give me a primary exercise that I would use in the maximal strength phase.
Deadlifts.
Perfect. Stop there. All right. Deadlift. So that's our primary. Ladies, what is a strength level exercise that would help me perform in the deadlift? In the gym now, I should walk around. So it could be a deadlift variation. It could be another exercise that works those same body parts. Still relatively compound. Help.
Oh, wait, what was the question? Wait, you said this
What is a supplementary exercise that would benefit the deadlift?
supplemental. What does that mean again? Like supplemental means
Someone go with their gut. Jaime?
Wide grip pull-ups.
All right.
Still
So the squat could help develop some glute and hamstring strength. Potentially, I'm imagining if I've got a pretty big squat, I would have a big deadlift as well. Although I'd probably consider that another primary lift. It's another like kind of tier A, big important exercise. The tuck jump would probably, Sam, be a power exercise, more accurately. I think, was it Cameron that said the wide grip pull-up?
Yeah.
For
Or
the
bent
left,
over rows.
for helping to keep the bar in close. Yep. Tracy says bent over row. That's a good one too. Keith, RDL. Man, you guys are all over. So supplementary exercises could be a Romanian or a stiff-legged deadlift. Could be, we're still focusing, Alberto, on the strength phase. So clean would be a power exercise. Bent over row. Row. A good morning. A pull-up, maybe with the wide grip. Either one. I'm not sure what a keystone deadlift is, Tracy. And then what accessory movements? So what single joint exercises would also benefit me in the deadlift? What muscle groups?
curl-ups.
Yeah, so a hamstring curl,
Yeah.
Back extensions.
hamstring
No.
curl, back extension. Good. I don't know if I would put that under supplementary or accessory, but they both work. What else? A glute bridge. Perfect. How about sets, reps, tempo, and rest?
The push-up, not push-up, but we call it. I can't even think of our next shot.
We're just going to speak in general
bench.
for the phase.
Bench press, like
3 sets of 3 at 90%.
All right. I'm happy with this 3 and this. Oh, I guess intensity I don't have written here, but we need it. So we'll say at 90%. Oh, look at this. Tracy's got 4 to 6 sets. Yep. Let's just go with 4 to start. 90% tempo. Where did you find that, Tracy? Did you write all that out? If you did, that was really fast. XXX. Okay. And rest. Ladies.
About is this for higher? So that's going to be less rest, right? So it's going to be like a minute or 2.
Or
2 to 5 minutes.
really close. You're getting close.
Oh wait. Am I getting hotter or cold?
You're getting hotter.
Okay. So about 20. Oh yeah. No, 15 minutes.
Man, I would love it. Not 3 to 5.
I said that 3 to 5.
You said 2 to 5.
You said 2 to 5.
Man, y'all tricked me.
Man, you're gonna give us 15 minutes rest, James.
I know that.
Hey, she's under pressure. We can't. It's okay. All right. So we've got a great program here. This is a good day for us. A deadlift. We start off with a deadlift. We're going to pick 1 or 2 of these accessory movements or these supplementary things. So deadlift, maybe do some bent over rows and some pull-ups, right? Finish it off with some hamstring curls and some back extensions. They're all going to be 4 sets of 3 at an explosive tempo with 3 to 5 minutes rest at approximately 90% of 1 rep max. Whew. I like it. What do we end up with here? Everyone answered correctly. Oh, and the girls win. Sorry. Actually, I'd say the guys came. So primary exercises, we bench press, the squat, and the deadlift. Supplementary, lunges, overhead press, pull-ups, just to name a few. Accessory, single joint exercises, curls, extensions, calf raises. 1 to 5 sets, 4 to 6 reps, explosive, and 3 to 5 minutes rest at 85 to 100% intensity. All right. Lots of info. But I really do think, like I said in the beginning of class, I think that if we would have had this conversation 5 weeks ago, there would have been a lot of blank faces and a lot of like, oh, I hate this guy because I've never heard this stuff before, right? And so we've come together, we've learned a lot. There's still a lot to be learned, right? This has only been 5 weeks. This is stuff that takes a lifetime to master. I'm still trying to do my best to learn all the time. I don't think I know everything. I think there's a lot more, that I can improve on too. The only way we do that though is more exposure. So get out there, go experience some of this stuff, see what 5 sets of 5 at 85% feels like. It's sickening, right? It hurts.
It wasn't that bad. I did that last week, but it was hard. It was definitely not easy, but it didn't make me sick. Well, I mean, shoot, I'm not doing 450 pounds either. 85% of yours was like what, 400 and something?
No.
Of your squat?
Yeah, it would be actually.
That's a little bit more weight.
What percentage of 1 rep max? You said 85, Keith. Yeah, to create your own learning communities, like we saw in the video from last week, the John Green video. Go out there and find them, right? Some of you guys are never going to work with strength athletes. Some of you guys are never going to work with, track and field athletes or maybe any athletes in general, right? But that's fine. Having a baseline knowledge of this information, right? Just, allows you to kind of keep that tool in your toolbox in case it ever does come to be necessary, or at least in conversation, you'll know what you're talking about. And then someone will look at you and go, wait, don't you only work with old people? And you'll be like, yeah, but I'm not dumb, right? Anyways, use it at parties. No one will want to be your friend. Guys, if I don't see some of you because you're going to take the test in the next 48 hours and not come to class on Thursday, which is fine, I said at the beginning of class, it's been a lot of fun. And I would appreciate it if you filled out the end of class survey. I think they're starting something new this module too. Some of you may have gotten an email to do it in a different format. Moving forward, that's the only way that this will be done, but this will be like the last kind of like hybrid method. So check your emails, but also if you don't see it, please, if you don't mind, complete the end of class survey. It's anonymous, so you can be as honest as you want to be. Some of you may have me next module. I think if you're on your way out and you're taking EXS-299, so I'm teaching test prep next mod, which I believe meets the same time, Tuesday, Thursday at 6 o'clock. But so some of you I'll see again real soon. But if I don't, please reach out. I will do everything I can to help you. That's it. That's all I've got. I stuck you goodbyes. If you are going to be here on Thursday, then obviously I'll see you then. It will literally just be an opportunity for you to take your final, ask questions if you need to, and then whenever you're finished, you can leave. There won't be a whole lot of discussion. That's it. I'll stick around for anybody who has questions. Otherwise, see you when I see you.
Hey, James, you were asking what Keystone Deadlift was?
Oh, I saw the YouTube video. All right.
Yeah.
I saw the link to it. Let's see.
Yeah, and a workout that I use it on this high school athlete I had, and his deadlift was really he had a really weak deadlift.
Inspiring.
We did a Keystone deadlift for quite a while. We probably did it like once every week. And by the time we actually got to doing his max at the very end of like an 8-week phase, his deadlift had gone from like 195 pounds all the way up to 275 pounds on deadlift. So I actually had him use the Keystone deadlift quite a bit. So, I mean, it works.
I'm trying to see. This is the video that you sent me, right?
Yes. I mean, he's doing it a lot faster than what I normally have them do it. But when I have him do the Keystone, I don't give him like extremely heavy weight. I give him probably 50% of what he can max, and I'll have him do 4 to 5 sets, maybe 8 reps, but slow and controlled. So he's going down slower, and then he's standing up faster.
So what makes it different from a conventional deadlift?
The conventional, because you're going all the way down to the floor, I guess, or from the floor up. The Keystone, you're only going down like right above the knees.
Okay. Are you sure this video?
Oh no, I don't think it was that one.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me go back and see, because that's not the video. Because I was trying to send it to you, and the screen kept giving me something else. Hold on just a second.
Here we go. Something that says Keystone deadlift.
Yeah, the one I had posted was like somebody at a CrossFit studio doing it. Let me see.
Well, can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So this, I think this.
Yeah.
Got it. So it's just a shorter range of motion.
Yeah, just a shorter range of motion. But what I have them do is I have them keep that bar on their thighs. I don't let them pull the bar away from their thighs.
Sure.
So they're controlling it and keeping their back straight. Focusing more on form, I guess, is probably what it looks like when I have them.
It looks very similar to the way that I perform in RDL.
Okay.
So I mean, I think it's a great accessory exercise.
Yeah. So, because I mean, when I have them do the RDLs, I have them go a little bit lower, but on the Keystone, I really have them focusing on
Above
that
the knee.
that form, because a lot of times the guys, they'll actually arch their back before they even get past their knees.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to get them to focus on keeping their back straighter when they get halfway down, and then that way when they go past their knees, their back will stay straight versus they get that little lump in the back, in the lower part of their back.
Yeah, everybody always they look at the deadlift and they go, oh well, like this is the worst thing that you can do, right? But realistically, being hyperextended trying to deadlift is just as bad.
Yeah.
A really big arch like that. So I think that the RDL is great for teaching people how to hinge properly and how to keep a neutral spine through the whole exercise.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to. So basically, a Keystone deadlift is almost similar to a RDL, anyways, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Oh, hey. Your 3.2, I think it would have been the last week's practicum video.
Okay.
You put a workout in there instead of the video.
Okay.
Can you like email me, or that's probably the only way to do it at this point.
Okay.
Did you make a video last week?
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Hey.
It's been a very, very stressful, busy few weeks.
Just breathe. Just breathe.
So I've been trying to just make sure like I get my assignments in, and I just had a question before I go to work.
Okay.
Because I haven't been able to just look at things, and I just want to just get a brief understanding. I'm about to read it, but get a brief understanding of this assignment that's due tonight, so I can hurry up and do it. And because it's been so like, is it pretty much work making a video or?
So your week 4 homework there's 2 parts to it. There's 2 assignments. One of them is creating a power workout.
Okay.
Which is 4.1. And then 4.2 is creating the power videos. So an upper and lower body exercise.
Upper and lower.
Yeah.
So I pretty much need to, because I know I don't need to use objects. I'm in the gym right now, and I'm going to go ahead and try to record it.
What I would have you look at is I'm going to give this to you. Hold on. So slow.
Got it.
I can put it in the chat box so you can hang on to it.
Okay.
Well, it's this link. But you're going to want to scroll all the way down to phase 5.
Phase 5.
This piece.
Okay.
And use these variables to do your program design, the homework, the 4.1.
Okay.
And then choose 2 power-related exercises, one focusing primarily on the lower body and one on the upper body to make your video.
Okay, so just talk about how to do it.
And then demonstrate.
Demonstrate and tell you how to demonstrate. Okay, so that's for the first part.
That's both pieces. So,
okay.
Yeah. 4.1 is to make the program. 4.2 is to create the videos.
So the program is just
you got to read it.
Look at it. Yeah.
You're just gonna have to see it.
Yeah, no problem. Just making sure I can make the video. I didn't realize it was 2 assignments. This has been just really rough, but I'm just trying to get on top of it and stuff.
It's almost over.
Huh?
I said it's almost over.
I know, it's almost over, and I'm finally focused. So I've just pushed the link, and I'm going to go to it. And I think, so those assignments, are they going to pretty much, do you think they're going to be able to be shown by Wednesday or what?
What
the ones that the ones I emailed to you that was supposed to get looked at?
From last week?
Yeah, it was last week or the week before. Like I wasn't able to like even submit it. I'll have to like email it to you.
Oh yeah. So you should have gotten credit for that already. The videos?
Oh yeah? Okay. I wasn't sure yet.
Okay.
It was a video, and it was another assignment with the week before that when we had to write a plan. We had to write.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so can you see my screen? All right.
Yeah, I sent 2 of them.
Yeah, when it came across on my phone, it never showed me your name. It just said Brian University,
Oh.
and I didn't know who that was. And okay, I'll fix this too.
Do you want me to resend it to
Nope.
make sure it's my name?
Nope,
Okay.
I can see it. I'll
Okay,
take care
cool.
of it.
Okay, cool. I was making sure I told you and everything was straight.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
cool.
much.
Thank you. I'm gonna get on that assignment. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll see you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
All
All right. Bye.